I just got your, figured out your problem. Have you got your email?
No.
Yeah. I think all it was, because you had me stumped. I was looking all over. I think it's the difference in being in map view versus layout view. So now that once you're in layout view,
It pops up.
yeah, see that they're all there. So that's the thing, is it's getting it into layout view. So you had me looking all over thinking, and I was just in the layout view.
I've been Googling and cursing at everybody because nothing worked. Because some guy, I don't know who, some Google said, you go to control panel and then something and then ArcGIS and all the previous.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating because this class is almost as more about teaching ArcGIS than cartography at times. Especially today, I'm going to kind of touch on a lot of things. It's more so I'm teaching ArcGIS than I am like how to label. I'm going to go back and do a little bit more on labeling.
Right. Well, ArcGIS is good.
It's great, yeah.
I take that on Thursday. No, Tuesday. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, what class is that? Advanced GIS? Oh yeah. Whew.
It's retarded.
Yeah, that's you're the deep end there.
Oh no, I'm
yeah.
drowned.
Is that Rudy or Banerjee?
No.
Who's a teacher? Wilson?
Wilson.
Oh, okay. Well, he'll help you. He's good.
He's real, yeah.
He's good.
Because, I mean, I'm not even for the anthropology graduate school.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I figured, well, let me get some classes on.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get in and all this business. I talked to Dr. Jeremy Wilson.
Yep.
Guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, what classes I could maybe take there, And he says, well, definitely take the cartography. It's easier and stuff. And if you do that, you might as well take the GIS.
Probably should take the other GIS. The fall one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fall one would have been.
So I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, stuff he's saying, I'm just like, I mean, he's working with me, thank God.
Yeah. How many people are in the class?
There's like 7.
Okay, man. Okay.
And I'm in the mud down there.
Yeah.
Because there's his mom, and we're doing this project stuff, and she's doing this stuff that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
He, in like every class he goes around and kind of gets where we are and stuff. He was talking to her, and she was like, okay, and I did this. Something with the dew point in the morning, and how much water is actually getting to the plants.
Okay.
I mean, just way out of my
Yeah.
scope. And last week he told her, he was like, for this class you did way too much. Stop way here. Are you taking something in the fall? And she's like, oh yeah. And he says, we'll continue and
Yeah.
do that. So,
Okay. Remotes. Yeah.
I was like,
huh.
that's insane.
Yeah.
But hey, thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, if you get it fired up on your machine too or whatever, I take the. So the new layout, the new letter, it's map frame. Yeah, they don't make it intuitive, so then you do that. And then here's where you right click and activate. Here you can then zoom in, zoom out, and then get to where you like it, or you can go back here, set it where you like it, and then it should be there. And then make sure when you're done, close activation. And then it'll kind of put everything, yeah. And something I'll touch on too. I'll show examples of that today. Any questions? Anybody?
Oh, I have a question.
Here?
Do you know, what does the quiz 7, can you show me what it looks like on your screen? Because on my screen, like whenever I click on it, it's just blank, and I don't know if it's a me problem.
Is anyone else getting that? I did not know this, so let's see what it looks like from this side.
Like, just when I hit take the quiz, there isn't anything to take, but I don't know if it's...
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
No. Well, that's an error. All right.
That's okay, as long as it's not just my computer. Then.
Yeah, it's obviously not you. I don't know what happened. Let's see what happened. It's supposed to be one question. Come on. Leave student view. what is it, number 7?
7, yeah.
7? Edit. Yeah, there's no question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I'll figure out something. It won't obviously penalize you guys at all. Probably just cancel it is my guess. All right, yeah, that's something I get to work on. So that might be the easiest fix, is just to give everyone a, what was it, 10 out of 10 on that one, and just eliminate it. It's all. It looks like it's due on Sunday, right? Yeah, new. We're not gonna do that. No. So it's what, number 7, Q7. All right. I'll take a look at that. But yeah, thanks for letting me know. Any other questions, comments, issues?
That's all I got.
I wonder if is that the same for you guys?
Yeah, I just looked.
Well, because the graduate student section, because I have to update both of them, so I didn't know if it's a deal where I updated one, not the other. Well, son of a buck. Okay, no biggie. I mean, not in the world. We'll figure that out. Like I said, I'm probably just going to give everyone 10 out of 10 on that. And, that way I don't have to figure out what's wrong and get that all, and get the information out. Because there's only 3 of you here, so that's not everyone's going to get the message. Cool. All right. Well, so the discussion 3s have been graded and looked on and really thought about. So much that they'd actually influence today and the next, today for the exercise 7, which I'm going to cover, and then exercise 8, which I'll cover after that. Fortunately, exercise 7, knock on wood, shouldn't take too much time. So it is, we are kind of getting to the due date here quite quickly. So I will be lenient on the exercise 7. If you get it to me, by Wednesday of next week, completely cool. Of course, Sunday is the due date. But let's go ahead and go into this exercise 7. So as I go through that exercise 7, make sure you remind me if I don't do it to focus in on labeling. In 3 of the discussion 3s, as far as what can I do better, or what what can we all is figuring out labeling. Making label, and I kind of looked back at some demonstrations, and I kind of glanced over some things, and so I want to make sure I hit those today. So if I skip through those and you see me getting excited to get to exercise 8, not talking about the labeling, stop me, please. All right, so this is exercise 7, in which we are mapping 2 different variables. So in the module 7, we talk about multivariables, mapping just more than just one thing. So we're going to be creating a bivariate map. It's really actually quite easy to do in ArcGIS if we have the data and we have everything ready to roll. So I have 2 things to download. The first is just a simple Excel spreadsheet. And the second one is county shapefiles, something we've been working with all semester. So what we're going to be doing is throwing them into the GIS, joining them. So we have a table and a shapefile. We've got to join them so that they're talking to each other. And then we'll then from there change the symbology to reflect the variables that we want to look at, and then from there create a legend. All right, so that's the map making portion. Let's go ahead and go to it. I went ahead and I already downloaded these files, so they should be easy to find. All right, so the first thing to do, I'm going to go back to the map. I'm going to add those 2 things. I need to add the county shapefile that I downloaded. I need to add the Excel spreadsheet that I downloaded. So add data, browse, and it might take a moment here to figure, okay, and so it's taking a moment and it's populated. These are things I already downloaded. Keep in mind the Excel spreadsheet I downloaded straight to my desktop. And then the county, I had to download it, then extract it. So make sure that you're extracting it as well. So I'll go ahead and now add. Oh, well, yeah, what's going on here? Didn't mean to click it, but yeah, I didn't mean to do that. All right. It should not be taking this long, that Excel spreadsheet. Oh, no. What's the, okay. Come on, stop so I can, do. This is fun. What are we going to do with GIS? What are we going to do? Failed to add, unsupported type. Okay, let's figure out what the hell's going on here. All right, we'll go back to plain old add data, browse. Microsoft driver not installed. What is that? That was not on this device here. So that might be, you guys might be able to do this and I can't actually, because I was just, before we got in here doing this, so that might be what's going on here. I don't have the Microsoft device driver. Let's try another way to get to this. There's the exercise 7 data, right? This is exercise 7, so I'll go ahead and I'll add that. So we know we have at least our counties. I'll add that to the current map. All right. Are you guys? Do you have yours? Are you? Anybody following along? I wonder if it just because this computer here, I did it, and this is saying I don't have a Microsoft driver. All right, we'll try something else.
I'm saying it's an unsupported data type.
It's Excel. What's going on here? All right, we'll save this as a CSV, see if that helps. Since Microsoft is .xlxs. All right, file, save. Come on. like I said beforehand, I mean, it's just more about teaching ArcGIS than cartography at times. It's just a blessing and a curse. This is not what I had in mind. Okay, what did I do different over there? I don't want to keep on doing this. All right, well, once this kicks out, then I'm just going to stop this one and I'll move on to exercise 8. We'll figure this thing out later. But I'm not going to have us waste too much time. But it's thinking about, I don't know, this could be just a bad ArcGIS day. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's frozen for basic things, just opening up a file. Well, if I can get out, I'll open up the next thing. All right, so we'll do exercise 8. I'll somehow come back and figure out exercise 7 at a different time. All right, exercise 8. This one's going to be animating different seasonal shifts in the location of the eastern whooping crane. So in one of the discussion 3s, someone was interested in mapping animal ranges, and this is what got me thinking, well, right now, if you look up in the skies, you'll see these cranes, these types of birds, they have a certain distinctive sound. Well, embedded in those often is an extremely rare crane called the eastern whooping crane. There's just a few thousand of them left. But they've been growing over time. So since 2002, their numbers have increased as we've come up with different ways to get them to migrate from the Florida Gulf Coast area to the upper Great Plains in Canada. So they have this back and forth migration, and guess where we are? Right underneath that back and forth migration. So what we're going to do here is do a few different things, find some new data, which is another thing mentioned in discussion 3 was where can I find data? And this is, it's so much out there. And this place here, this particular site called MoveBank, I went ahead and I opened it, MoveBank, and so they track animal tracking data, and it's, in this case, our data is these whooping cranes are geotags. There's a tag on them and a GPS attached, and so that's how we know their location. And then there's also ground truthing, which they're sighted actually in real life on the ground or somewhere by a human. So this is a particular website that's out there, and I went ahead and I found this one here. And so all I did was do a search, and I searched for, in this case, the crane, and I eventually found it. Now, to access the data, you do have to log in, and it's a very simple process. This is, making sure that you're a human, essentially, and it was immediate in terms of signing up and then getting everything for free attached to it. I mentioned that because there's places out there that have, like Indiana Map, that have all that stuff for free. Then there's places like this, which is free, but you just got to log in. You just kind of have to do a little bit of work. That's also the case with Open Topography, another site that's out there that I'll maybe mention at the very end of the semester, where you can find a lot of accessible free data that will probably cause all kinds of problems when you try to throw it into ArcGIS. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this data in ArcGIS Pro. So I'm going to make a new map. And this one is going to be kind of playing around with symbology, but it's making an animation. And if you've ever made an animation, it can be kind of tedious. It's not just essentially fire up the camera, go, turn it on, make a movie, make whatever. So we're going to do it kind of old school style in that regard. All right, so here I'm going to connect to my eastern crane, which they should be there. Eastern whooping crane, population, migration, timing. That's all someone else has uploaded that. This is 2002 to 2018 data. Oh no. There. Whew. And so this particular website, I don't know. I mean, I just looked at just a few things. Blue whales, you can match blue whales, their range, and they always have these lines and points. So I think the lines is maybe showing migration, but it's not exact. Just a FYI. So we're going to add the points shape. And so what we have now is all of the sightings of the eastern whooping crane. That's great. What we want to do is we want to create an animation that shows the changes over January, February, March, April, so on, during the 12 months of the year. So that's our challenge, is how do we animate that? How do we show that? And so what I'm going to do this in terms of how I'm going to achieve this for us is to essentially make 12 individual maps and then share them as 12 individual images. And then I'm going to throw into a free website in which it'll create from those static images essentially a .gif, a .gif, which is essentially an animation that'll then make it look like it's a moving image instead all it is just flashing these different maps. So that's our goal, that's our objective. So first off, I know this is maybe a little different order than the instructions, so please forgive me. We're going to choose a better base map. Why do I not like this base map here? I'm trying to show dots on a map, and if you look at the base map, it shows cities as dots. And we want to reduce as much confusion as possible. And so it's useful to have all those place names, because most people don't really instantly recognize, oh, that's where St. Louis is, that's where Chicago is, so let's find a different one. And of course, we can do this via the base map here, so you can look at different ones. And like I said, this is where you kind of think about things, and whatever you think back, I support. But let's use some logic here. So the imagery is good, however, it doesn't show state locations, city locations, and so it kind of can get, okay, where's Indiana and all this dots of whooping cranes? So that's something to consider there. Imagery hybrid. It also has the dots. This light gray canvas is great. It's a good one to choose. I think dark gray canvas is also good. I'll go ahead and click on it. So what I mean by that is you don't see the dots now. Jackson, Mississippi isn't as a dot. So it's not. It's still there. We now can see. Okay, well, there's Nashville, there's Memphis, there's Knoxville, but we don't have those dots that are showing the location of those and adding confusion. Another thing I want to introduce you to is the idea that you can go out and find base maps as well. So you can find your own base map. So we're going to go to the Add Data button and ArcGIS Online. And I'm going to search for, there's this really cool khaki. It's in khaki, like khaki pants. So I just do a search for khaki. And you'll see these icons here. So all those, which essentially means that this is available here in ArcGIS Online. That one right there, or in the Living World, when it has that globe, that means it's Esri created content. That means it's legit, it's real, legit. You can see how other people have copied theirs, that original one, and it doesn't have the Esri supported. So that's why I mentioned that is the Esri support has probably been proofread and it's probably good enough, so we're going to add that one. So I'll click on it, okay, and it changes the base map to this khaki. I want to remove that other one so I don't have the redundancy. Remove. Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. Remove. All right. And so then this is important to do for this one is we want to zoom to the layer. Right now, zoom to the layer. Okay, so what that does is by doing zoom to the layer, I now know I have all dots on this screen. There aren't any up in Canada or any down in the Caribbean. They're all on the screen here. So let's take a look at this particular data set. Attribute table. I'm going to open up the points attribute table by right-clicking it. And we've got the stuff we need. We've got the timestamp. So that's 2011, March 20th at 4200. I don't know if that's UTC or what. It doesn't really matter for us in this case. And it's got the key thing, the lat, the long, that's geographic. Once again, so many times people come up with me data sets They're great, but they're not geographic. They don't have Latin long or something in there that relates to a location on our Earth. Going to move on over here. Other things, cool. It's kind of stuff that's included here. Keep in mind, this isn't our data set. So what we're going to do is this date and time, go ahead and remove them. They pretty much don't need them. They're leftovers here from when this table. Come on, get rid of it. Boy, ArcGIS is slow today. Woo-wee. And then delete. We're deleting a table with nothing, so it shouldn't take much time. All right, great. All right, so make sure, in this case also, I'm in the contents pane and have the points highlighted. We're going to add a new row. Add a new row. Or sorry, add a new field. I shouldn't say row. A new column. A new column. So it's going to be added, and we're going to call it month. And its alias is month. And it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, up to 12. So we only need a short. Remember going back for the very first day, we talked about the different data types. We don't need a huge number. And so do short, and then numeric format, it's a number. Click OK. And then come up to the top here. Make sure you hit save, and then that'll then create that column. So we've added that month field. We should see it added to the end of our attribute table. Great. All right. So now, what I want to do is I have this timestamp, 2011, 3, 20, all these numbers. I just want the 3. I just want that's all I need. So how do I, from that timestamp, extract the month? So to here would be 4 for April. How do I extract that and put that into this particular column here? In the old days, that would have taken me, I would have just said, no, I'm not doing it. We'll find something else to do. With AI, I said, AI, let's go see exactly what I said. I copied and pasted my, whatchamacallit. I'll get that error out of here. I don't want to see that. ETSD there. Where are we at? Exercise 8. So I said to my Python, or my AI of choice, I need a Python 3 expression for a new column. I'm using ArcGIS Pro, where I want to strip just the month from the format column. And so then it said, here. And it gave me this and that. And so let's see if it works. So I don't even know a thing about this language. Python, it's obviously not a snake. Let's see if I get 2 of these going here. So I can get side by side. All right, we are side by side. All right, so now I'm going over to that month column. I have what I over here, and I'm going to copy and paste this in. So I'm going to right click, calculate field, and I'm going to follow the instructions here. And once again, it's not like I have this innate knowledge on how to do this. I just asked my AI to do this, to help me out. Boy, it is taking a long time. All right, so all this stuff I'm going to leave. So it says, in the points attribute table, the input table is points, field name is month, expression type is Python. I don't know why Python 3. Why did I Python 3? I don't know why I put 3. And then for the text above the code block, copy and paste the following. So we'll get our copy and paste. And then over here, for below that, copy and paste this. I'm going to go ahead and expand this. So you can see all that. There is this check mark here. And the check mark, what it does is it will verify that the language that you're talking to is correct. It understands you. Like beforehand, before AI would bless me with these free responses, I got all the time, sorry, and it does a good job of telling you what you do wrong. But I mean, once again, if you don't know this language, it can be quite cumbersome. All right, so apply. And then this is where we want to double check that in that column, oh, let's see, let's get this bigger. I want, this month is 3. I want to go over here and then see that month is 3 there, and it is. Go to a different one, 11, come on over, and it is. That's November. All right, so I now have this table that's been fixed to have this month column. So let's do the tedious task of replicating this 12 times. Actually, let's have some fun first. Let's mess with this symbology. Before we start copying and pasting it and replicating it, we want to standardize them. You don't have to, but I would like, I think they look good standardized. So let's play around with this symbol. All right, so the symbols, we've done this already, but you can do a few different things with them, with the appearance. In this case, let's think about shape fill. I like this kind of this buffer gradient fill, and it goes from 2 different colors. So let's go from a light gray. Let's go from a white. These are actually very white colored birds that are known for their kind of their maroon red tops, crimson tops. So let's try that. Let's go from a white to red, kind of just matching the colors of these birds. You do whatever you want and then apply it. I'm not going to spend too much. So cool, looks great. I'm maybe going to increase the size of them. Let's go to 6 and hit apply. That might be too much. Yeah, too much. Looks like 5 is a nice happy medium. All right. Cool. Now the rest of this is pretty much stuff we've already done. So it's not like it's going to be too much groundbreaking stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go to the points. I want just the January. So I'm going to select by attributes. And so I want to select by attributes. I want just the points. I want to create a new selection where the field month is equal to 1. Apply. It's going to then create those features there. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say selection, make layer from selected features, which it's going to do. Immediately change the name so you don't get anything confused. And I'm just going to do 1_Jan. Apply. Okay. And then double check that you just see if you don't see all the points. And guess what? We're going to do this 11 more times. So this is where it can get tedious. So I want to make sure I'm doing points, month, this time 2. No, come on, 2. And we're going to make a layer. As quick as possible, you want to change the name. Now the reason why I'm doing the 1_2_ is I'm hoping that when I do share these, that they'll then share them in that format. So then when I throw them into my gift maker, it'll recognize them. I can immediately put them in chronological order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and so forth. So I'm hoping that that's going to make things easier. That's why I'm doing that. I'm only going to do a few months. I'm not going to do them all, just so I can go back and try to figure out that exercise 7 situation. So just do a few more. So select by attributes, points. And once again, sometimes it might default to the new one. No. We want points. We want the whole shebang. And then go down to month is equal this time to 3. Cool. And then make a layer. Change them. Oh, come on. You can also, I don't know why it's not doing it, but you can also, yeah, so if I'm left clicking. I'm left clicking on this this right here. So I'm left clicking right on that. Why is it not working? Okay, this time it worked. Okay, so if you hold down on it, you can change it right there. But obviously, they don't make it super easy, and it, for some reason, doesn't work every time. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and clear. That's that little button right there, cleared, so I don't have any of the teal. If I see any teal, it's kind of a signal that I have some things to clear. And now we're going to go to layout mode. And so once again, layout mode is how you get these to the pre-production stage. Insert new layout. So kind of just looking at the kind of the juxtaposition of the data. I think probably makes most sense to be in a portrait view. And I do want to mention this. You can customize the size. And I mention that because, for example, Instagram stories or whatever the other ones have, they're all in different sizes. And those are all, so if you ever would want to make something for export on social media, that's something to keep in mind, is that's where you then play around with stuff in terms of the size and spacing, so then when it comes onto your smartphone, it looks perfect and doesn't have anything, fits perfectly on the screen, doesn't have any places on the side where it doesn't fit properly. Anyhow, all right. I'm doing the regular old profile. Once again, map frame to get my map extent. And there they be. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I want it zoomed in a little bit more. So right click, activate, and you zoom in. Although I'd like to be able to see a little bit more. So these are the different things. This here, the percentage, is the percentage that you see. Let me change it so you can see what I mean. So 75, 25. Whereas if you change this is going to change the actual scale of the map. So if I go for, let's say, 1 and 1,000, you see how that changes the scale. So when you see these two things next to each other, they're not at all the same. They're doing two completely different things. So go back to my previous view. Oh no, what happened? Go back. Okay. So activate, zooms. Close it. There we go. So it looks like the bottom is the keys. Oop, too zoomed in. So it looks like 1 and 8 is doesn't get it all. So I'm going to go maybe to 9. No. 1 and 10 million. We're getting better. Yeah, it looks good. I think that's all the data. Okay. So now let's do the next part in terms of creating a title. And then we want to add the month label as well. I guess you could. I'm going to go ahead and use this. Oh, I need to close it. Close the innovation. I'm going to use this as a chance to also refresh us on the legend. Okay, and so while I'm here, you can see how it's got all this stuff that we don't need. So let's make this better. So I have this, right-click it, convert to graphics. So I just right-clicked and I convert to graphics. And now what I can do is individually touch these and get these suckers. In this case, these ones I don't need, I'm going to delete them. And make sure you click on the ones you don't want. Oh, it's not easy, is it? Come on now. Okay, we'll do it that way. Delete. And then these dots. Delete. So I converted it to graphics. That's something I wanted to mention because in labeling, people weren't finding that. So that's something I didn't really do a good job of mentioning. All right, so I want to also move this one over a little bit. So it's underneath legend. Centered, nice and centered. And then change that from 3 March to crane sighting. All right. Nope. And I could also change that legend font and all of that as well. It's the same idea since I converted it to graphics. Okay, now let's add a title. So over here you've got the different things you can do, different texts. Let's go ahead and just add capital A, the straight text. Click it, and then what is it? Eastern, whooping, crane, sightings, 22, I think 2002 to 2018, I believe was what it was. Obviously that is not the size that we would want. We want that to be much bigger, much more pronounced. So I have that highlighted over here. So it's highlighted like that. And then over here in the text, you can change the symbol. It is slow today. And Tahoma's cool. I like it. Ariel's cool. I like that. Let's do that. Ariel. 36. See how it goes? Too big. 36 is too big. 28. Almost perfect. Boom, baby. That color, let's do the same as the birds, right? Crimson. Apply it. Cool. Now let's add another one. Kind of put it in this space, maybe right here. And we'll do, where'd it go? All months. So we'll have the first one be all months. Way too big, so I'm going to change the size, the symbol. It should be smaller probably than the main text, but not too small. And did I use Arial or Tahoma? I can't remember.
It's Arial.
I used Arial. Okay, I want to use Arial again probably. And maybe I can italicize it just to make it distinctively different. What I say, crimson, apply, and move it so it's nice here in the space there. So that's all months. Cool. So if we're happy with how things look, which I don't like that legend at all, that looks awful. Let's make it also red or crimson, and definitely not bold, regular. It looks a whole lot better. All right, and that's of course, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as the famous line is. All right, so we got everything as we wanted. Now we just want to make sure we want to keep it consistent. Yeah, one of the things is when you watch a movie or an image, you don't want to have all of a sudden the title change, its location. You don't have to be at a different scale, zoomed in, zoom out. So make sure that everything is left as is. All right, go to Share, which every time I say that, I think of the musician. Export layout. And what am I asking for? JPEG? Yeah, JPEG. I don't. It's what do I say over here? Yep, JPEG. Okay. All the rules. Web JPEG. Export. I'm hoping it's. Wait a minute. I need to pay a little bit more attention, and this is something you also should do as well. wait a minute though, here I'm trying to do all, but I have these other ones checked. So this is something, I'm glad I made that error, although it didn't really impact the image, because it's just going to be redundancy on this first one all months. You need to make sure that whenever we go through here, like I'm going to go on the next one, that over here, this is the proper one is checked. So let's go ahead and do that for example. Where did it send that? We'll worry about that. Okay, now I'm going to do January. So I'm going to change all months. I'm going to not move it at all. I'm going to try to keep it in the same exact location. All I'm doing is writing January. Once again, what I just said was, we're going to come back to the map and make sure that January is the only one shown. Because that's going to create the situation where you weren't going to see January data. It's going to be essentially hidden underneath all points. So I just have January data selected in the map. And now I'm going to replicate this, export. Okay, where's it putting it here? Oh, so it's calling it layout JPEG. Okay, I don't want that. So I want to call this one is 1_January. Export. And then we're just going to do this. February. Make sure I go back here. Unclick January because now we're dealing with February. Go back out to layout. Export. And this one I want to name it to February. So my idea of naming the labels or the layers in the contents pane was fruitless. It did nothing for me. So note to self. February, and then I'm going to do the same thing for March. Go to the map. Make sure March is checked. Whoa, so this is the time of the year for these birds to be around our area. Export. And we're going to call that one 3_March. Export. Looks like the February one, I didn't export that one. So February, redo that one again. Oh, no. PDF. I don't want PDF. I must have hit PDF. JPEG. 2 February. And like I said, you'll do all of them, all months for yours. All right. So I'm going to put those in some file here. What is this file? Did I not do it again? All right. So these will be just the first 3 months that I'm then going to throw into this particular easy.gif. It's the first one I came across in a Google search. And then GIF Maker. And then let's throw these suckers in there. Should be a simple copy and paste. All right, where did they put it? Yeah, I should have been more organized and taken my time to put these in a good spot here. I gotta. Spending too much time just to figure out where they put it. Documents, ArcGIS. Okay. Projects, my projects, 7, 2. Right there. All right. So it's all screwed up in terms of the. I must have done one in the wrong portrait view or something. I don't know. One of those days. All right. So we'll go ahead and make it. There you, it created it. Like I said, there's the one night which I saved it incorrectly. I got sloppy and lazy in terms of not being consistent with this whole process, exporting the image. So that's that one. All right, let's go back and figure out exercise 7. What in the heck is going on there? Why can't I add a simple Excel spreadsheet? Import tables. Try that. No, I don't know what's going on. All right. Oh, there it is. What? What the heck? Okay, so I got some device thing happening here. Okay, so this is, if it's still working, is it the same thing on yours where it's doing this Microsoft? I mean, I did this at 10 o'clock right in here, so I don't know. This is going to take forever to do. It might be just the deal where this particular device is not letting me.
It lets me add it on mine, but it comes up as a standalone table.
Yeah, it should be. Exactly should be.
Okay.
So how'd you add it? Just how I've been trying?
Yeah, add data. I just went to add data.
So it's just this particular device, which is just, it's just how things go. I'm sure I could probably take the time to figure out how to download the driver onto that site. But so okay, so add the data. Are you getting it, Dylan?
I had it earlier.
Okay, so go ahead. So add the data, and then do you have the county shapefile in there?
Yeah.
Yep. So right click on the county shapefile. and then join.
Is that the thing?
So joins and relates. Yep, joins and relates. And then add a join. And the Indiana counties, well, I'm sure I have it. I'm doing this by memory. The input field, are you there at the input field? GeoID?
Yep.
Do that one. It's all by memory here, so, and then
it says join table. It has the name of that standalone table in it.
Yep. Which I can do. So
Then the join field again. GeoID.
Yep, just hit OK. See what happens. All right, and then let's go ahead and let's just assume it's there. So are you at the same spot, Dylan?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got through. You got through the hurdle I got, right? I'm guessing. So the standalone table's viewable on yours.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So once you join, so do it joins and relates, and then add join, and then Indiana counties is at the input table. GeoID is the input field, and then the join table. Once you join it with whatever the one that should be there. Everything else, leave as is, hit OK, and then go over to symbology. Okay. Symbology, right-click, symbology, to get that symbology pane, and then change it to bivariate colors. Bivariate colors. And once you're there, change field 1 and field 2 to whichever ones you want to study. There should be 4 options: inactivity, smoking, obesity, and maybe alcohol. Do you see those as options? So select whatever 2 you want to kind of compare. So what we're trying to do is we find out places that are highly inactive and also smoke a lot. Or find places, that's kind of what we'll end up doing once we're finished with this. And so pick up whatever 2 variables you want. In this case, it's using the default, because I have nothing joined. So it's just, it's land and water. So it's just whatever's in the county's shapefile. So I can play around with that, though, still. So here's where you can mess around with the color scheme. So you can go for that. If you want to play around with different colors. Kind of keep in mind, darker we shouldn't think about as being the highest value of something, lighter, the lowest value of something. Also, the orientation. So this is just aesthetics, but the orientation, if you change it to high values, it corresponds to something I mentioned in the online lectures as far as making it visually make sense. And so notice how the legend is now a diamond shape. So now it's more logical that the highest value thing is going to be there. And so when it's on its side, I kind of have to think, okay, well, now I know. So here, in this case, is once again, whatever this value is here, these counties here are high in both of them. Cool. So then that's the first good chunk of this assignment is just making this map. Now let's go to layout view, insert, new layout, letter, map frame. We're going to put this in there. And here the legend's very important. We got to definitely get that legend in there. So I'm going to activate, make sure this is nice, takes up a good amount of the space, like always. And Indiana's perfect for putting stuff right here on this side of it. Layout, close the activation, and then insert my legend. And you've got different options. You play around with those. You'll see they kind of pop up different things, different ways. So that's kind of more up to you to guess and check what you like. Okay. So I got a few things I can do with this legend. Let's say I want to make it have this box around it. So I could right click. Where's we got? Sorry. Double click it. And I can change the legend in terms of what's going on with it. I can make it visible or not. I can, what's it showing. The title, I can change it so as it say key, because that's also a key. It's the same thing as a legend, so I'm going to go do that just for fun. Key, the map key. Okay, so I changed that. And so you can do different things in terms of leaving things out and adding stuff. And that's other stuff. Yeah, cool. So that's enough of that. All right, now convert this to graphics. I can get rid of some stuff. If I look at that Indiana counties, I know I probably over here could have gotten rid of it in that previous thing, but you can also, once you convert to graphics, go in there and just delete it. You don't need it. Also, we're a little bit redundant with these lows. So I got 2 lows here. Maybe I just need one, and I just need to move it into a different location. So I'll get rid of this one, delete it. And then this one here, I'm going to get it, and then rotate it. What, 90? Will that be too much? Yeah, too much. 45? Of course not. We want to do what is that, 135? It's upside down now. Oh, yeah. 360 minus 135 is 265, right? No? Too much. 165. Yeah, well, we can do this forever. Eventually, I'm going to rotate it so it's horizontal. So now it'd be 90, right? So 45 plus 90 is...
135.
Why didn't that work? So we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. And you can just, by brute force, rotate it as well. If you see how it does this arrow. Oh, come on. When it does this curvy arrow. Give me a curvy arrow. There. Getting closer. Curvy arrow. Whatever. So now I'm getting closer. $315? I guess that's what I should have done. $315. All along. And that looks just a little bit better. And that base map is awful. Get that base map out of there. And that's that. So you would add a clever title to this. Once again, whatever you're comparing. So smoking in alcohol in Indiana or whatever. All right. Completely free to go. I mean, of course, never take attendance. But I'm going to, at this time, talk a little bit about labeling. So I'm going to come back and use this time to talk about labeling, something mentioned in discussion 3 that you needed a little bit more guidance on. So if we go back to map, right click, labeling properties. Up here at the top, you'll see the different things. And so labeling, you can change the labels up here or you can change it over here. And now how do I get this? Let's go ahead and close this out and say, well, how do I get to that? Very small right here, lab, this little right little sucker right there, click on it, and that should pop up. That pane should now pop up. So if it doesn't pop up, and this is where you can, I don't know if people saw all of my videos, so I'm just going to go ahead and go through this again. So the land parcel placement, we can choose different things, straight and polygon, horizontal, as far as the orange, is there anything else here? No, there's nothing else on there I wanted to say. Stacking, reduce size. These are all things that you can do as far as changing kind of from the labels from the big picture view. So let's go ahead and add the labels, and those are the county names. Now, all right, so now we've got some problems. So this is one of the things is, first off, they're too big. I can do that. I can adjust them all. What we got? Maybe 9? Is that better? Not much. All right, whatever. I can change them in here, though. All right, so one of the things we mentioned earlier was these certain counties, trying to get them to fit. So this is something I did not do a good job of mentioning, so that's why I'm emphasizing it right now. So back in the map, edit, annotation. Oh, sorry, let me go step back. I need to right-click on the counties. So I go back here, convert labels to annotation. So I needed to do that, and I need to run this. Just leave it as is. Pretty much everything should be good to go. Run it as is. Okay, now I go to Edit, Annotation, and this is where you can then click on each of these and then start changing them. So let's say Vandenberg, that font, it's way too big. I can then change it to something smaller, 6, let's say. Let's say I want to rotate it a little bit. What happened? Okay, so I somehow got off of that. So what would I do to get back to it? Go to annotation, and that's how I can get back to it. Or I can also choose move to move it, or I can do rotate to rotate it. So there I'm rotating it to fit in there a little better maybe. And then there's also, I can change the scale of it. So then that'll help make it fit in there. So I can make it kind of squish in there. Of course, I picked the wrong one to kind of show because it gets covered up by its box here. Yeah. I select that, I go to move, select it. What a day. All right, so I'm not going to fudge over that. So then we also have the problem here, Sullivan. Problem with it is I don't like that color. I want it to be white because you can't see it in that dark background. So annotation, over here, change that to white. And then I wanted to fit in that county box better. Scale, find the scale up here. And I could squish it, and now it fits in there and it's white. Whew. Okay, so that's editing. So as always, you got to save your edits. So that's different than saving the map. So I saved my edits, and that's that. So for this particular one, exercise 7, don't need the county names. All I was doing there was merely kind of showing you how we can play with them and change the labels much better than I explained it earlier in the semester. So that's how you can change them, work with them using that annotation feature. Right on? Cool. That's all I got. What a day. I thought everything was going to be smooth as can be. It was working over here. Everything worked great. Went and bought a t-shirt because I had so much time to kill. In reality, nope, I should have been spending time downloading the Microsoft driver on this.
You still got through it, so a win is a win.
Yeah, you got it. Take them where you can get them. So for both of these, I will be lenient on the due dates, and I probably will finish, come back next time and clean these up if I have to. So if you have any more questions when you're working through this, we'll come back next time and clean them up for sure. But like I said, this exercise 7 for sure. If you get it done by Sunday, great. If not, no worries. Just communicate. All right.
Shirt is cool today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, seasonal.
Oh yeah.
Tis the season.
It's spring. Thank you.
You're welcome.